actually create your own tabs. For example, I have a everyday Excel tab here, apply Excel tab here. Right? Now, how do you create that tab itself? Now, usually if you actually go into different functions, you have to click the different tabs. And the problem with this is you have to hunt for the icons. So if there are commonly used tabs, commonly used icons that you have, you can actually customize them. And this is what I do by putting in some of the common icons that I can use. Alright, now how do I create this? Pretty easy. Just go to right click onto, let's say assuming that you don't have any of this tab yet, you can go to any other tab here. Let's say I start and point at home, I can do a right click, then go into customize the ribbon, click on this. Now you'll see lots of tabs here. These are the tabs that you can actually activate, and what you can do from here onwards is to go into here and create a new tab. So if you click onto new tab here, it will show up over here, new tab. Then you can actually arrange this right to the top here, and it should appear on the left over here. Alright, now then from here what you can do is you can go into the new tab and do a rename, and let's call this Canon, for example. Alright, and you have a Canon tab. And what you need to do is you can actually put your commonly used functions right inside here. For example, if I want to put commonly used functions that everybody use, that would be the copy and paste. So you can actually go into the drop down here, go to main tabs, and in the main tabs here you get home, and you have the clipboard. This clipboard represents the home tab, and this represents all the copy and paste. Okay, so what you can do here is quickly pull this one over to this side and say add to the Canon tab. Okay, or you can actually do a new group here and call this new group here lunchtime talk. Or that will be not a good idea. Let's call this what do you call it? Okay, let's call this applied Excel. Okay, and let's say I click OK here, and I have a new group called applied Excel. And from here what I can do is I can also go into the individual icon here and add on to the group here. Okay, now at the end of this what you can get here, and click OK, and you will get a Canon tab here with the apply Excel group, and you can get the clipboard. Okay, and what you can do is you can actually go back to the old times when you can actually access all the icons all at one place, and that's how I do with the apply Excel tab. Okay, now another place that is very useful, alright, that you can use would be the quick access toolbar here. This one looks like the older version from Excel 2003 and below, right? Now this tab here, usually you will see this right on top above the ribbon here, and usually you see very few of them, right? Now some of the things that you can actually activate on here is to click onto the drop down here and activate some of these commands, and it will appear here as an icon. Commonly used one that I recommend, alright, new, open, save, print preview I think is necessary, undo, redo not so necessary, but undo is one of the most important ones that we do. Alright, and then after that you can open recent files, and that is one of those that I've added in. Before you go into here to the next portion, you need to show the quick access toolbar below the ribbon, then you will probably have more visibility. Alright, now then how do you add in icons here? Pretty easy. For example, if you go to data here, and let's say one of the commonly used function is filter. So what you can do is you point at the filter here, do a right click, and you can add to the quick access toolbar, and immediately your filter functions appear here as a small little icon. Of course, this is for those with sharp eyesight, because the icon is pretty small. But it's a very good easy access, because no matter which tab that you click onto here, the quick access toolbar icons never change. So you get consistency, and you can basically so-called memorize where the positions are, and it will make you work faster. Definitely it's going to make you work faster. Okay? Now then what happens if, let's say, you create sets of icons here and you want to put it into your home, go back to home, and you want to use it, you want to go to every other computer and you want to use it. Now what happens here is, if you have these icons here, you can do a right click, go back to the customize the ribbon here. Now this whole thing plus the quick access toolbar can be exported. Alright, export all customization, and from here you can give it a name. For example, okay, I will just go into one of the folder that I have here, and I call this demo. Okay, so when I click save here, okay, click OK, then I can go to my Explorer, and you will have the demo file exported. This is the user interface, and you can actually port it to everywhere that you want to do. So you can actually share with your colleagues as well, as say this is a very nice common icons that I'm using, maybe it also benefit you. Okay, or if you change computer, you just need to just port this file over, and the interface would be will follow you everywhere you go. Alright, so this is the first 3 tips here that I have. Now the tip number 4 here that I have is a little bit more complicated here. Now one of the things that we don't do in Excel is to do merge cells. It looks very nice and pretty, and in terms of presentation, but it's never been pretty if you use merge cells and you need to do some of the data analysis. But for example here, if I want to select this column here, you notice that it will just extend by itself. Okay, so one of the things that you need to do here is, of course, click onto the whole list here, go to home, and you can go to here to merge your cells. That's one of the important things. Okay, now another thing here is that I want to show you as a 5th tip here is that you can use GoTo by using Ctrl G or F5, and you click onto this one, and you can do multiple selection of range. Say for example, if let's say you were to select this range here, then you press the Ctrl key, you select this range, and accidentally you let go of your Ctrl key and you select and everything goes off. Alright, so what you can do here is you can go to F5, go to the reference here, and you can type in the range that you want. Say for example, I want C16:C200. I can put a comma here and then do I16:I200. By selecting the range here, you'll guarantee that you'll not go off. Okay, so when I click OK here, you will go to the 2 ranges that I've selected. So that will help you to do selection faster compared to control and do selection. Okay, so this is pretty important here. Now then, how do you select empty cells? Say for example, in this group here, after I do the selection and I want to select the empty cells and say I want to delete them away. Alright, so what you can do here is I can actually use same thing, go to F5 and can go to special here. I click onto the special button here. I can say choose all the blanks for me from my selection. Okay, click OK, and you notice that the blanks are all selected. Okay, and what you can do here is you can actually press the 7th tip here is to do delete cells, Control minus, and from here you can actually shift the cells up, and everything will just be aligned nicely. Okay, so let's say for example I have this, somebody was asking me about this problem that she faced. Okay, and she needs the columns here. Alright, she needs the description over here. Okay, she needs the, let's say, the unit price over here. Okay, now the problem with this one is that this stock code here is on one line by itself, then the description is on the other line, and the unit price on the other line. Now, so if you actually pull this data out, you can't even do anything with this, right? And what is the usual solution that we get? Copy and paste, one by one. And you end up spending lots of time trying to do this. Okay, so what happened here is you can actually, alright, go to a new workbook or new worksheet, right? Let's say I can copy this whole thing over to the new workbook here and do a paste. Right, combining all the four tips inside here, okay, this is what happened. After I do the unmerged cells here, individual cells are all unmerged. Alright, so let's say I want this column here, I want this column here, and I want this column here over here. Okay, these are merged cells, right? You notice that when I select, everything gets selected. Okay, and I want this column here. So what do I do here is I can actually click onto this one, unmerged cells. That's the first tip. Alright, second tip is I need to do the selection here, so I do F5 here and I start to type in C16:C200, assuming that the data that I want starts from row 16 and the end of the data is about 200 rows. Okay, then I put in a comma here and I start to type in I16:I200, comma, and I need the last column here, which is Q, right? And I can simply type in Q16:Q200, and from here I can click OK, and all the columns has been selected for me. And then from here, simply just do a copy. Alright, go to the new workbook. Okay, go to a new worksheet here. Let's say I paste from row 2 onwards. So I have this one. But the problem now is that this is still not aligned, right, to the data itself because of the empty cells. So continue with the tips that I showed you. I can press F5, go to Special, and I select all the blanks and click OK. And then I do a Control minus. Okay, remove cells and shift it up and click OK. And now my data is aligned nicely in less than a minute. Usually when you select range, it's pretty easy. We just select this way, right? Now, a longer way to select a range is to click onto one cell here. And if let's say you have lots of data, you can scroll all the way down and find the last row. Press the Shift key and click. That will help you to select the range. Okay, so this is tip number 8. And this is important. Now, say for example, after you select the range and you need to type in some words, and you have already selected the range, you don't want to reselect again because it's going to take you another few seconds to select the range, right? So what can you do here? You can type in the information that you want. Let's say I can type in this text must go to every highlighted cells. Okay, and that's how you should type in without selecting any of the cells. Just simply type. Okay, and how do I copy this to all the cells? I don't do copy, but I just press Ctrl and Enter, and every one of the selected cells will be covered with the text that I type in quickly. Okay, so you don't have to do double work. Okay, so let me go to the number 10. Alright, now, so how do you apply this back into the data here? Now, let's say I have a set of data and this looks like a pivot table, right? So when you have a pivot table, you have grouped them together and these are the data and there are lots of empty cells. But let's say you need to fill up all these colored cells. And what do you normally think of straight away? Copy and paste, right? Or double click and you go down and down and down and you see that it's never ending and you scroll down until you fell asleep. Okay, so what is the fastest way to do this? Since this is supposed to be a 1-minute tip, okay, so you have to watch what I do quickly. Okay, so first I select the cell and remember the tip that I showed you. Alright, I can scroll down to the last row here. Okay, and I reach the last end of the table and I find that it's 600 rows. Okay, so what I do here is to select the range quickly. I press the Shift key and click. And that allows me to select the entire range. Okay, then after that I look at the shaded range. Those are the empty cells. So I can apply by using F5, one of the previous tips that you learned. Okay, then go to the special button here and you can select the blanks. And then you click OK. Alright, so now I have selected all the blanks. And what do? I need to actually copy the text from the top here, right? Down to the rest of the rows here. Then this one from row 22, 23, I have to copy from row 22. Then 24 will follow 23. 25 will follow 24. So what do I do here? I can just type equals to and refer to the formula, refer to the cells above it using a formula. And what I do here is I can just simply use the tips that I just showed you, Control, Enter, and I would have filled up everything in less than 1 minute.